Hey, what's up, everyone? We are back for this Wednesday slate, a 10-game slate tonight. Let's jump into it. You can like the video down below and subscribe if you have not already. Starting off here at point guard, Luka, 11-6. Didn't disappoint in three quarters. Wish that game was closer last night, but it could be a good thing tonight. Maybe he's a little bit more fresh. Maybe they put him out for more minutes on a back-to-back because this game is definitely has the highest total on the slate, looking like one of the better games to target on a 10-game slate where we do have some slow-paced teams going at it tonight and some good defensive teams. Luka at 11-6, he should definitely be over 12,000 just because if he played his full amount of minutes, he would have topped 70-plus fantasy points. Only had 5 assists, something that's been his lowest assist output in basically as far as this can go, since the beginning of November. Just such a good player, just dominates the usage. If you were going to play one Dallas Maverick today at home against this Timberwolves team, play fast, not great defensively, it's going to be Luka. So lock him in there at point guard at 11-6. At shooting guard is where we have a lot of options. Spencer Dinwiddie, 8,200. Been playing great. Price tag is up over 8,000, but he's been playing really well since Irving's been out. Another good spot against the Hawks. Not interested in Booker really at 8,000 unless Rubio sits. If Rubio's in, then won't really have Booker. If he's out, then Booker becomes at least viable at 8,000. Interesting. I like Levine at 8K. Price tag is up on him, but just a great matchup. This game could be like a sneaky game stack depending on the status of like Valanciunas. Both teams bad defensively. The Grizzlies play super fast. Should be a high-scoring game, so I like Zach LaVine, even though the price tag's up. I like Wiggins at 7,800. Been playing great. And Buddy Hield, Butler, Mitchell, they're all fine. I like Hield if Bogdanovich is out. He's not on the injury report on Draftkings, but he was questionable in some other report I saw, so we'll see. His hamstring is really bothering him, which is why he hasn't been playing big minutes. He's been struggling, and he's been in a lot of pain with his knees. Now he says that his knee's hurting him, compensating for that hamstring injury. Below him, Fultz had a good game last night against the Wizards. Still a decent spot against the Suns. They aren't as bad defensively as the Wizards. No team is. But I still like Fultz. He's been seeing good usage. Like I mentioned, without Vucevic in there, the price tag is still affordable. Kendrick Nunn, disappointing yesterday, even though he played 39 minutes. So I think this was a great play on paper. Just it's up to the players sometimes. Well, it's always up to the players to go out and want to play. And 3 of 16 shooting the basketball, 0 of 9 from 3. Definitely had a path. This game did go into overtime too, but definitely had a path to be one of the better plays on the slate if he could manage to knock down, at least like 40 to 50% of his shots instead of under 15%. So just one of those plays that didn't work out, but I'd go right back to him against the Celtics tonight. I don't think a lot of people will, but we know he's going to benefit from Dragic missing. His minutes went up like by 5 or 6 compared to where he's been. Satoransky, 5,200. Just love the matchup here. He's been seeing a lot higher minutes over the last couple games than before, which is, they gave him a big contract in the offseason. He's going to get playing time, and playing 32 to 35 minutes against the Grizzlies should be able to make value. So Jones is fine as well, but I probably prefer Sato over him if Valanciunas is back. And if you're going super cheap, maybe you can punt on Melton, Robinson. We'll look at the status of Blake Griffin. He hasn't played a back-to-back all year. He only had to play like 22 minutes last night because it was a blowout. But if he's out, then you could look at some of the Pistons, although we already had this adventure earlier this year where they played the Bucks with Griffin out, and it did not go well as they got romped. The guy I like is, you want to get some exposure to this game from both sides. I think getting Luka and getting Wiggins, that's the exposure I want at least in this game. So over at small forward, won't be paying up for Giannis. Just another spot where this could just be a blowout. It's just been so frustrating if you roster Giannis because he's been crushing it. We need him to play like, the Lakers or the Sixers or some good teams, the Heat, where it's not going to be a blowout and he's not going to play 20 to 22 minutes. Like, he's been crushing. He's so good. I just wish that I just want to target him going forward in games that at least have a chance to stay close, not against garbage teams like the Pistons. Buddy Hield's been playing 40 minutes around in his last 4 or 5 games. Been playing great. Don't mind going to him at 7,400. Same thing with Jimmy Butler. Had a big game. It's a back-to-back. But he's going to see more usage without Dragic running, the second unit. And then Dragic does play with the starters too. So I don't mind going to Butler. I like Jabari Parker at 6,400. He's been bad lately, but he scored under 10 points in 2 of his last 3 games, under 11 or under 12 in all 3. But I think that's going to improve. DeAndre Hunter is not expected to play, so that's 32 minutes. He had been playing big minutes for this team, not expected to play, so that's going to secure Jabari Parker. Sometimes Parker plays in the 20s if he's not playing well, but this matchup, just a really good one against the Nets. He's going to have to play with DeAndre Hunter out, and not sure the status of Cam Reddish, but he's been dealing with some pain. Let's see if he's on the injury report. Doesn't look like he is, but just not that good of a player as of now. So I don't mind getting exposure to Jabari Parker. Price tag is down because he's been struggling. At small forward here, a cheapie that I kind of like. Maybe go back to Gordon at 59. Dylan Brooks, don't mind him, 5,700. Justice Winslow played well. He's also coming off the bench with the second unit, so not having to deal with Dragic there for at least one more game is going to put the ball in his hands, so that will open up his playmaking. I like Winslow. But I think Joe Ingles, 4,900, could go a little overlooked here. The price tag is up on him, mainly because Draftkings probably knows what's going to happen in this one. Last time against the Sixers, when Mike Conley went out of the game, it was Ingles who stepped up and stepped in his place. I won't be shocked if they start him at point guard tonight because he played so well against the Sixers, and they haven't been really giving Moutier very many minutes. Even though Mike Conley went out of the game, he didn't see much run, only 5 minutes. And then Dante Exum, who's been, I don't know why he's still in the league, but he's not been doing much either. So even if he doesn't start, he's going to see more usage, and he's definitely going to close with the team. So he'll probably play over 30 minutes without Conley here at home. Coming off of a bad road trip, the Jazz are looking to get home, and I think Ingles at 4,900. He's a great passer. He can shoot. Could be a nice spot for him to get you 30 to 35 plus fantasy points. Over at center, I'm looking at Valanciunas. I love him if he's in. 7,900 against the Bulls. We know targeting big men against the Bulls is a great strategy. Wendell Carter's cheap. Turner's pretty cheap at 6,000. Same thing with Marketing, although he's been awful. But the value guy that I want is Kelly Olynyk. 4,200 for him. Really, really cheap. Price tag is down on him compared to where it was at the end of November. I don't know why he just played 6 minutes against the Nets. Could have just been I don't know why, because other than that, he's been playing in the 20s and 30s. So maybe he was hurt. Maybe he just didn't feel like playing, or maybe they just liked what they had out there. But it's a revenge game if you're into that, going back to the Garden with facing the Celtics. He's going to play minutes here. And last night they ran a 9-man rotation. Played 35 minutes. They start like Miles Leonard and Duncan Robinson, but especially Leonard, he doesn't play that much. Olynyk's going to see a nice benefit, and a 4,200 really cheap. And then over at guard, I think going with Winslow, Nunn, Satoransky, Jones is probably where I'm interested in. I think Sato has the best matchup and just pretty safe because starting point guard against the Grizzlies, they have given up the second most fantasy points to point guards this year. Sato's a bit of a do-it-all. He's not just relying on scoring, and just had a decent price tag for the minutes he's been playing. So that's DraftKings. Let's look at Fanduel. Luka's up to 12.5. I think he's still playable, but we also have some value at point guard, and that's going to start with Tyus Jones, 4,600. Kendrick Nunn, 4,800. I'll go with none. I just think that if he takes 16 shots again, I'll be willing to bet money that he makes more than 3 of them. And before Dragic was in, he was playing like 24 to 28, but we saw what's going to happen probably with Dragic out again tonight. He's going to see minutes. He'd probably see like 33 to 35, and when he's hot, he can put up 40 fantasy points. Not sure he's going to be super popular given the matchup, but just love the price tag on him given his uptick in minutes, and the price tag is too cheap. Over at shooting guard, Zach LaVine, 8,500. Everybody's pretty priced up at shooting guard. Butler, Wiggins, Booker, Mitchell. LaVine, 8,500. I feel like I want to get in on a LaVine game where he puts up 50 fantasy points. Wasn't on him when he did that against the Hornets and the Warriors. I think it could be tonight against this awful defensive team and the Grizzlies. He did put up, as you see here, but not that it's going to mean a lot, but he put up 60 against this team in the end of October. 85 is not a cheap price tag, but for a guy that has 50 plus 60 point upside, I'll be willing to pay that price tag on him. At small forward, I think Joe Ingles is even a better play on Fanduel than he is on Draftkings. $400 cheaper. Is going to see good minutes without Conley. Could even start at point guard. We know he can rack up assists when he has the ball in his hands and is the playmaker. And he can facilitate the offense. So 45 for him. Nice price tag there. At power forward, Tatum's fine. Adebayo's decent. See where they priced Jabari Parker here. He's at 7,000. He's still a decent option. Prefer him on DraftKings at 6,400. I like Gordon at 6,200. Just too cheap for Aaron Gordon still. Last time against the Wizards, he was fine with 34 fantasy points. Played 31 minutes. He's at home again. He's at home, so against the Suns, matchup is good against Saric and Kaminsky. They are going to miss Aaron Baines, so there's not a rim protector there. Gordon can drive to the paint, and we'll be able to do whatever he wants. So I like Gordon at a cheap price tag. And then at center, I'm looking at like Towns. I love Valanciunas if he's in, just because big men against the Bulls crush all year. One of the worst teams in the league, if not the worst, against fantasy points to centers. And before he was sick, he was putting up 50 plus in these 2 games, and those were 2 tough matchups against the Clippers and the Jazz. Looked like he's finally up to speed this year after getting off to kind of a slow start, and now that his minutes are up to 30 plus without Ja Morant, he's going to see more usage, more opportunities, more shot attempts, and I think he's going to play. I mean, it's just a sickness. He got another day off yesterday. I won't be shocked if they rule him in this afternoon. So that's what I like over at FanDuel, and this is what I like for DraftKings. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. You can drop a like if you enjoyed, and we'll post the final updates and stuff on Twitter, so you can follow me there. Thanks for watching, and good luck today.